Hello guys, you're probably wondering what I've been up to. Well, been busy with different things. We are back again. Welcome to another Early Waves on Cryptos. Saturday night, my time here today. And we're gonna have a quick look on BTC and Ethereum for a surprise. That was the QIC vote. I must admit, there hasn't been a lot of activity recently. Not just from the group. I mean, there haven't been many votes, but also, generally speaking, in the markets, we see that the conflict between Ukraine and Russia taking its toll. I have, by the way, done a podcast, which is on my YouTube channel, in case you're interested, to so that you understand a little bit what is the background, because behind this story, okay? Because there's a lot that you people don't know, and unfortunately, there is a lot of propaganda at the moment going on. So if you want to hear some different facts, you might as well just go ahead and have a quick look. Don't forget, you can still access my Telegram as well. Well, I post several updates on a daily basis, on-chain analysis on a weekly basis, webinars and other stuff. In case you want to access the premium version, of course, you feel free to contact me. You can only find the legit me and not the scam me under my about section. Okay. Now, without further ado, let's go and start with a long term on BTC, and then take it piece by piece, alternatives, mains, and all the story. Similar, of course, for Ethereum. Before we go ahead, don't forget, none of this is financial advice. It's purely educational and does not constitute anything more than just, educating you guys and giving you a heads up about the potential direction the market could take. As you well know, this has been my like forever long-term view, that we still have another wave up, and we're still close to completely in win 4. Okay, I mean, we can go all the way down to 14k and we're still going to be valid for this particular case, right? If we take guidelines into consideration, the correction should have been done, but after the first leg, when we were here, after the first leg, we realized that's not the case. So I'm still waiting for wave 4 to complete. I don't think it's completed yet. You remember, we're talking about a running flat for a while, not the scenario I'm looking for now, unless if it extends to the downside, of course, because with this move to the upside from down at 32k does not look impulsive. Okay, that is why, of course, we're going to expect another leg down. With yesterday's price action, that suggests to be supporting for now, not confirming the bearish leg. So let's go and have a quick look on the BTC's sort of medium-term price action. We're looking at still at an ABC, by the way, but in this case is going to be an expanded variation. Well, maybe because we need to go below the 28.76 for that to become an expanded variation. Anything above 28.80 or so can still be considered as a running flat, right? So we have to, of course, just be a bit patient and see how the markets are going to react going forward. And now another thing we can do here, guys, because we do have a flat here, and the general idea of the flat is just to use a channel to find potential bottoms. We could be also looking for for a potential like move like this, might get a short wave 3 and a much shorter wave 5 here. This level is going to be offering some support regardless, in my opinion. Okay, so you will also notice, if I'm not mistaken, yes, we haven't looked at this, that there is no ending diagonal here, open variation. Some of you might have seen the comments from the last video, but I've had a mistake here. Second time. They say the third one is the last, so let's hope it will be just one more. And I've had it for an ending diagonal actually open for a while. Excuse me. And the problem was with the length of wave 2 and wave 4. Converging diagonals must have wave 1 larger than wave 3. Okay, wave 3 must be larger than wave 5. And wave 2 has to be also larger than wave 4. Open diagonals on the other side, on the other hand, they have to have larger wave 3 than 1 and larger, well, wave 5 doesn't necessarily need to be larger than wave 3, but it needs to end above wave 3. And wave 4, of course, needs to be larger than wave 2, right? So the problem was that the 3 was not larger, was larger than 1, but was it? No, it's not. It was not. And the 4 was larger than 2. So it's like a mix. A mistake that I think other analysts got tricked as well by. Anyway, we have now corrected the downside leg, and we've got 1 and 2, 3 and 4. And looks like we just starting off the wave 3 of 5. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. Why? Well, I've been very vocal about how I'm not liking this as an A. Okay, so W makes sense. And the second supporting evidence is that we have interfered over here. Okay, so more potential for downside. Obviously, correction can be expected. Now, the chances are going to increase more when we cross below that level, because when we do, this will likely reduce the chances of this being a potential diagonal. Because don't forget, we talked about diagonals. What if that was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here? And that is indeed 1. So we'll be getting something like 2. It will be going up for 3, then 4 and 5 to get a diagonal, right? So with that in mind, if we break like below the level, that is going to be much less likely. And the break of this low over here would very likely, like 90% invalidated. I'm just leaving this 1% the benefit of the doubt, right? So what are we looking then? Well, since we've got the fourth wave in, we'll look for the 29K, guys. Okay, the 38 was done already. Next level is 29, and after that is 23, according to this method. There's other methods. We can use wave 1, which means it's not going to happen because wave 1 is already smaller than wave 4 even. Or we can use wave 4. Wave 4's length equal to the actual last wave, which means that takes us down to around 2350. Okay, but in between, look at this, the 29K seems to be a strong level. And then after that, 2668. Okay, I will show you the alternatives one more time. Let me just pull these in here for now. Interesting. Okay, expanded with a different wave 1 and 2 here. Okay, that is like 1, 2. That is the beginning of the first wave down. Similar case over here, right? No change. It's just our 1 is down here, our 2 is here, and we're going for an extended third. Now, don't forget that is going to be an expanded for sure, because it will be impossible to end to the lower. That's why I have it as an alternative, right? Whereas in the main scenario, don't forget, we can get 5 waves down and still don't go below that level, which means still it's running flat. Now there is also running flat variation, which means we finish down here. This is wave 2, and we're gonna get, well, here we're gonna get you know, a 1 2 1 2, which means we're gonna get 3 4 and 5, and then 4 and 5. That's gonna be our 3, then 4 and 5, and that continues up, right? Then you get the correction and all the way up. Then you got the double, which like can be seen like a triangle, means we've got a lot of room to go. That could be still a W, X, and Y here, by the way, because wave B can be complex, and it would also fill the potential this move as an ABC, and then we'll get another ABC, and here's your W, X, and Y here, right? And then we get this, and we shoot all the way up. The double flat, of course, don't forget, that would have to be an ABC in here, which means if that happens, then obviously the situation of the running flat increases as well, right? The B wave down here, and then a C, which means we're going to bring this extension quite a bit up to around, well, it has to be below 1612 for us to consider that it's not going to be a third wave, right? So that's one of the other scenarios though. And then the bearish move, of course, that could be, I mean, wave 2 might even be done here, just to be fair, but I think we would get a much deeper correction. That is the scenario where we're done with wave 5 down here, okay? And we would be looking for, I'm not sure we need this for now, to be fair. We would just have to wait and see how this correction is going to pan out. Pretty much, could be a W, X, and Y, could be a flat node for now, unless if you get something like this. But that would be a bit of a weird pattern. But ABC here, yes. So let me just put this in perspective. A, B, and C. The bear scenario, right? Which means our you would have an ABC here. Well, it is possible, just a bit unlikely. Yeah. The B does the 90, which is ABC. That should be ABC as well, and then 1 2 3 4 and 5. So until we break the previous low, that might still be the case. Might even get an expanded B here, right? So that is going to be one scenario that I'll have to follow for a bit. Now, let's go to the short term quickly. And I'm also going to show you a variation in the short term. This is the main scenario, and I'm going to go down on the 1 hour to show you what is happening here. So I've got a wave 1 down here. This is the wave 4 that we just finished like at 46, right? And the top, the recent top a couple of days ago. So you've got the 4th wave here, and we're going down for wave 1 of 5. 1 2 3 4 and 5 done very nicely, and the channel has been perfect guide for this. And then you've got an ABC all the way up here. If you were in my channel, I called all of these levels. So well, maybe you don't trade, but at least if you were in a trade from before, you would have saved some of your funds, because main purpose of trading, guys, is just to save the pocket first, then fill the other one up. So it looks to me like we'll have an extended version of the 3rd, just based on the volumes basically and on the RSI. I like this as a, you know, as a potential 3rd here, but I'm still not seeing evidence of a structure that would suggest that, you know, we can go up here, because if you count the waves internally, you got 1 and 2. You could say 3, 4, and 5, right? But then your 3 looks like a bit weird, and your 5, you know, it just seems to have much more volume than your 3rd, so it's a bit complicated, right? So that is the reason, and of course because of the fact that this is a very minor insignificant correction, I think we're going to get one more wave down, and then we're going to get a decent correction higher. Okay, because we need to see volumes coming in for a decent correction of a higher degree, for example. So for now, what we can do is we can just pull this channel over here, guys, and just expect to see what can happen around that level. So I'm just going to pull this in here to have it. Yeah, that is the short-term alternative. The other idea, of course, it's what I showed you before. We might be done here and we might see wave 4 coming in, then the fifth one, and then we get a larger correction and then we move down, right? Versus the main, which is what you see now, we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then up and then down. So it's one extra step, one up, one down, if that makes sense. Now the alternative, guys, is not like the short term, but I just want to show you that there is also potential for a triangle here. Okay, similar situation, but we have changed the wave 1 and 2 here, and this is our third, and we're gonna go to our fourth. There is something very important that we need to mention here, and we need to pay attention to. That of course indicates that, you know, we're gonna see something like this, and then a truncation in wave V, okay, and then go lower down. You might say, well, we need a truncation. Where? Because we've got this level over here, guys, that the 4150, that if we don't, yeah, that means that this is going to be invalid. Wave 4 has to finish below 1 for it to remain progressive to the downside, right? And as we saw, we cannot have a diagonal in this particular case. So, to me, the fourth can only be the case if we get a truncation in wave E. So, if we assume we end here, and this is our wave C, we have, well, do we have, well, that's the thing. Our wave D has to end probably around 3350 or so. So it's a bit of a complicated one. Maybe even it's unlikely. I'm just bringing it up just in case, because wave C might not be in yet. Or we might get, you know, a sort of a false break in wave D. We're going to see. But in either case, for a triangle here, we need truncation in E, 70% truncation, right? And we need that E wave to end below that first move. Let's look at Ethereum, which we haven't seen for so long. And guys, to be fair, there is nothing different here when we look at the external structure. There is some differences, obviously, but we're still looking for a flat. Okay, so you've got the 3 and the 4. Since we look for a flat, then we might as well just do the right thing and place the thing here, the channel. Let's pull this in here. So the idea is, you know, to get another 5 wave move down. We've done the first, the second, and we'll go down in the first, similar to Bitcoin. The only difference is wave, the top and the bottom here. These are the lower differences. Okay, the rest is pretty much as like a copy, apart from wave 1 here. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this case, in the case of Bitcoin, we had something different. Okay, now we can also pull the 2-4 channel. Okay, and go up to 1. Well, that would be up here actually. Let me just add this in the group just to keep it there. And you see, this is pretty much where we bounced. Levels, well, depends on what you are using. We're looking at the 2K, and after that 1465. If we use wave 4, then our level is down at 1426. Okay, that would be equal to wave 4. Of course, in between you got the 2K, the 1850, and other stuff. And these are the two ways to look at Ethereum. The alternative scenarios, guys, are the same. There is nothing different, to be fair. Exactly the same. These minor changes or sort of differences we see in price action make no difference to the long-term count. Okay, now let me just check something, because I'm just looking. Maybe I was in a rush here to do the video for you today. 1, 2, then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, for 3. Okay, it's doable, but maybe a bit forced. No. 1 and 2. What if my 1 was here? Only as an open leading diagonal, which is a bit questionable because the wave 2 is just very close. That would be 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is nothing, and then 3, and then what in the 4 you get a flat. You cannot get a flat in the 4th. So that would be, if you say 1 and 2, and then what, 3 and 4 and 5, not possible. 1, 2, okay. Let me measure something quickly. Okay, that will be open variation, but the 2 is already bigger than 4. Okay, so fine. No, we'll leave it as is, and we'll go to, do we go to the alternatives? Well, the alternative is to have that wave here, right? And then you get 3, 4, and 5. I'm just trying to figure out, why do I have 2 different ones? The wave 4 in both cases finished, and the 1 and 2 in both cases is okay. Yeah, it's just looking at the different targets here. Okay, pretty much. No, if we use the 3 and 4, no, it's exactly the same thing. I was probably just looking at, maybe it didn't save. Weird. That Ethereum makes a better triangle. I think for some reason, maybe I controlled Z too much, and it disappeared. I had a triangle here as well, guys, as an alternative. Okay. So you would have something 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and there is no need for validation of invalidation here. This is a much more clear structure for Ethereum for a potential wave 4 here. Okay, maybe I had this. Let's see. No, I didn't have this. Okay, well, whatever. It's there now. I'm gonna add it to the short-term main here. Okay, and going a bit lower in, we'll just look at the structure, the main structure to the downside. Okay, the structure is very similar to Bitcoin, but in this case it's much more appropriate, because you have a nice third, to call this the end of this particular third wave, then 4 and then 5. If you remember, in Bitcoin, our 3 is here and our 4 is here, so we get 5 here, right? It's like we are one step ahead on Ethereum for falling, which is not surprising being an altcoin. So that's gonna be all for the day, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and in case you got any questions, of course, feel free to ask. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll be recording the next video next week. I'll try to do more, but unlikely I will manage to do one more. So maybe I will manage to do it next Friday. Take care.